everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first video that you watch. If you don't know me, this is Eleanor, and in the last video I uploaded, you saw me starting the Camino de Santiago. I think that many of you, or some of you, didn't reach the end of the video, so you don't know that I actually never made it to Santiago, but I left after 4 days after arriving to Pamplona. And I said in the last video that I was gonna tell you in the next video what happened and why I decided to stop early. So here I am. It's been more than a month now, so I had time to process it, to think about it, and I can say I don't regret it. Like, thinking about it now, I realized it was not the right time, and I'm pretty sure I made the right thing. Wait, before I continue, I just wanted to ask you, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, it would mean a lot to me. Okay, bye! But yeah, I think that some of you don't even know what the Camino de Santiago is. I think it's pretty popular in Europe, like many people know what it is, but I don't think it's so popular in the rest of the world. And I can see that my subscribers, like many of you, are not from Europe. So basically the Camino de Santiago is like a pilgrimage that arrives to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, where they say that there are the remains of Saint James. The most famous point to start the Camino is Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France, and it's where I started it, but there are several other Caminos that you can do, like the Portuguese one or like the traditional Camino that it's a bit shorter. But yeah, I wanted to do the French Camino, which is like almost 30 days long and like almost 800 kilometers. But yeah, I only stopped after, I don't remember, I think 70 kilometers? Was it less than that? I don't know, but I only arrived to Pamplona. I say only, but it was quite a challenge actually, so I'm actually very proud of myself for making it that far. But yeah, it was definitely not what I had planned. Like, I really wanted to finish it, but there were things that made me stop early. So yeah, I was postponing this video, but now I have to make it because again, it's been more than a month and I don't want to forget it, but I also want to make this video because maybe you will avoid making my same mistakes. So let's start. So I think the main reason why I didn't make it to Santiago is that I was not prepared enough. And what do I mean by that? So when I say that I stopped the Camino early, everyone is like, oh, was it because of blisters? And no, it was not actually because of blisters, because I spent 45 euros on socks, on anti-blister socks, and they were very useful. So no, my feet were amazing. Nothing happened to my feet. I had amazing shoes. I got a 41, even if normally I have a 39, because they say that like your feet will be swollen and like you will need a bigger number. So I followed every tip. I bought everything they said you need to buy. So I had an amazing backpack. I had amazing shoes, amazing socks. So I was prepared, like for the things that I had to have. I was definitely prepared. And it was not even about like physical preparation, because before I started the Camino, I was living in the French Alps, and there wasn't much to do in the French Alps, so except hiking. So I was hiking a lot, and like every time I was hiking, it was always like, okay, this is preparation for the Camino de Santiago. So like, and I started like actually training for it, I think 4 or 5 months before, even if like I used to hike like always, but like 4 or 5 months before I was like, okay, I need to train for the Camino de Santiago. So I think I was kind of prepared for that, but still, like, I'm not an amazing walker. I'm not super fast. Like, I take my time, but I arrive to places. But I think this is something to keep in mind, that I'm slow, but we will talk about this later. So when I say that I was not really prepared, what I mean is that I was not really mentally prepared. So I really like to travel solo. I've had several solo trips and it was amazing, and I really like my own company and I like to go to places alone. So I thought that walking the Camino de Santiago alone was going to be the same thing, that I was just going to enjoy my own company, that it was going to be fine. But actually I found it very, very hard. And yeah, for the first time during my travels, I found it hard to be alone. Because of course the conditions were different. I was not in a big city. It was not like my solo trip to Istanbul where I was literally in a city. I had a problem, like people were just gonna help me, or like, you know, if you're in a city, even if you're alone, there will still be people helping you. There will still be a way to fix things and like have what you want and what you need. When you're in the woods, if you're in the mountains, it's completely different. And I realized only when I was there that I had actually never been alone in the mountains for so long. It was like a different kind of loneliness. It was not something that I was used to. And also, when you talk about the Camino de Santiago, when you hear people talking about the Camino de Santiago, everyone tells you that you will make friends, that there will be so many people on the way, and it's true, but there's something to keep in mind, which is that I'm slow. And that made a huge difference, because like in the morning we would start like with a big group of people walking in the same direction, and you would say buen camino to everyone. And then at some point, like for 3 consecutive days, I found myself like alone in the woods, in the mountains for long periods of time. For like 2-3 hours I would not see anyone, and it was scary. I was scared. Like I was not prepared on finding myself alone for that long in the mountains. It was probably because I was slow, because it took me more than everyone else, I guess, to arrive like at the next hostels, albergues. I would basically be the last one left on the route, and it was scary. It was scary. I don't know what else to say except that I was scared to be alone in the woods for so long. And the first part of the Camino is the worst because like you don't really walk in cities, in villages. You mostly walk in the woods. If I had kept going, I would have been more in villages and cities. But like the first part, it's basically just woods and mountains. So it was definitely harder. Everyone says that it's harder, but when they say that the first part of the Camino is harder, they always talk about like the elevation, the fact that there is like it's very long, and they never talk about the fact that you will find yourself for that long time alone in the woods. So yeah, like again, I'm not saying anything new because we all know that like the first part of the Camino is hard. But again, it's not just hard because it's long, it's not just hard because of the elevation, it's hard because you will be alone for a long time and you will not be in villages, and there's the chance that you will not see other people even if you start in July, because it was July, so there were supposed to be many people. Even if you start in July, you will probably not see many people around. So yeah, that was it. And also like I would arrive late at the albergues, and like there were people that were already sleeping at like 7-8 p.m. and like maybe I would arrive there at 7 p.m. and like there's this unwritten rule in the albergues that if you're young you will take the upper bed. So I always got the upper bed. But the problem is that like of course if you have the upper bed, it's gonna be more difficult to like unpack your stuff and like take your clothes, go have a shower, come back without make a lot of noise. And like I'm always self-conscious when I'm in albergues and hostels because like I don't want to upset people, I don't want to make noise. But it was such a hard situation because like I would arrive late and people were already sleeping, and I was just there like, okay, but I need like I need to take my stuff, I need to make some noise, and like I had to go to have a shower, and then it was, I don't know, it was just so hard to deal with the albergs. So yeah, that was hard. And also, this is probably the worst thing. This was also very hard. I'm vegan. And I was worried about it, but like some creators said that it was easy to find vegan food. It is not. It is not easy to find vegan food. Like for the first day, I packed from home some food. So like the first 2 days, I ate the food that I had from home. But then again, I was in rural Spain, so already like the vegan options were not many, but also like arriving late in the villages, I would find everything closed. So even if there were supermarkets, there was nothing for me to eat because the supermarkets were closed. So like for example, when I arrived in Zubiri, I didn't eat anything for dinner because there was nothing for me to eat. So yeah, that was hard. Like I was so overwhelmed when I arrived to Zubiri because I was hungry, I was tired, it was late, I just wanted to eat and there was nothing to eat. So I don't want to discourage vegan people to do the Camino, but I think you need to be a fast walker because you need to arrive in the next village before the supermarkets close, because otherwise it's gonna be hard for you to find vegan options. So basically, I was alone, I was tired, and I was hungry. And this is something that you can easily overcome if you have a good motivation. If there's something that makes you do it, that is really important to you. And it was not like that for me. I think I was very motivated when I first found out about it. And I think I was 16 or 17 when I first heard about the Camino de Santiago. And I was Catholic back then, I was religious. So there was for sure a religious reason, a spiritual reason for why I wanted to do it, other than the fact that I just wanted to see if I could make it. But now the religious reason was completely gone. I'm not religious anymore, I'm not Catholic anymore. So there was still some kind of spiritual reason to it, but it was definitely not religious anymore. So yeah, that was gone. And also like many do it because they want to like be alone with their thoughts in the woods, in the mountains. But I had just spent 9 months in the Alps. So it's not like it was something new for me. I had this experience of like being alone with your thoughts for the past 9 months, and I also lived alone, so I had a lot of time to think about things and like to make some introspection. So that was not a good motivation for me, like being able to be alone with myself and with my thoughts, because I had spent the last 9 months doing that. And also like I had plans, like I still have plans. I don't want to talk about them now, but like I have plans for things that will happen in like kind of near future, in a month or so. But I stopped working in the French Alps like at the end of June. So there was this period of some months in between in which I didn't quite know what to do. And like I didn't want to come back home where I actually ended up. So now I'm at my parents' place while I try to figure out like my next move. But I wanted to avoid that. So I was like, okay, I've always wanted to do the Camino de Santiago, but I didn't have time, I didn't have money, I was not in the right spot to do it so far. But now, like, I was unemployed, I had time, I had money saved, so like, I could do it. I could finally do it. So I felt like I owed something to my past self to do it. And also I had like some time to burn. So I thought that was a good enough motivation to do it. It is not. It is definitely not a good enough motivation. I basically just wanted to run away from something. And I ended up like getting it right in my face, because I'm actually facing everything that I didn't want to face, and I think this is actually my Camino de Santiago. But yeah, I wanted to run away from something, and I thought that doing something that my past self wanted to do was a good idea. Turns out my motivation was not good enough to overcome all the difficulties that I had while I was there. Yeah, I think that this is it basically. I just found some difficulties during the Camino and I didn't have a good enough motivation to keep doing it. So yeah, this is it. Don't make my mistake. And with that I mean that you need to know why you're doing it, and you have to have a good motivation. Like, find your motivation before you start the Camino, because if you think that the Camino will solve all your problems and like you will at some point find yourself, I don't think, like, you cannot find what you're not looking for. You need to look for something to be able to find it. You're not gonna find what you're not looking for. So do not start the Camino thinking that you will find yourself or that you will find something else if you have no idea of what you're looking for. So yeah, this is it basically. Also, I want to add another thing that was not the main reason at all why I stopped the Camino early, but it was something that made me uncomfortable for all the 4 days that I was there. It definitely didn't make it easier. And which is that I didn't meet many people during the Camino, but I met a guy already from the airport in Rome that was going to Bordeaux, and from there he was starting the Camino. And like, he had a backpack, and like I could definitely see that he was going to Santiago, so we started chatting because of that. I think that I started chatting with him. He was like 40 years old, so like I didn't want to be friends with him. I just wanted like to talk with a fellow pilgrim and just say, oh, you're also going to Santiago, cool. But he was like, it was very like, he really wanted to befriend me. Okay, I was not interested at all, but he really wanted to befriend me. So like, when I was in Bordeaux, like we took the bus together, like from the airport to the center of the city, and he was like, oh, we have some time to eat. And I was like, yeah, I will go to it, bye. So like the first day I managed to not spend so much time with him. The problem is that I found him every single day after that. And like, I was already uncomfortable every time I would see him. And like in Roncisvalle, like after Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, so like the second day, we ended up in the same fucking room. So I was forced to talk with this 40-year-old man that was like in the bed under mine, but like on the other side. So like I would see him every time I would turn on the other side. I was just like, I didn't want to spend time with this person, and I was like forced to spend time with this person. And it was like basically that is the only person I met during the Camino, and it was not a good encounter because it was just so, I didn't want to talk to him, and like I have no reason to believe that he would have been like dangerous or anything like that. It was just making me very uncomfortable. And like probably if I had kept going, I would have met many other people, but like I haven't had a good experience with like making friends. No, actually, like the last day in Pamplona, I met like at the bus stop an old man from Texas. Like like in Pamplona, like I was going from Pamplona to Madrid, and there like I met fellow pilgrims that were going back home by bus because they were not finishing the Camino, and they were mostly old people who didn't want to do all of it, and they were so nice. I loved to talk to them, and there was especially this old man from Texas that I remember because I saw him like the days before when I was going from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Roncisvalle, because he was going very slow, but I was lower than him, so I remember like this guy going faster than me, and like I was behind him, and I was like, come on, this guy is 80 years old, why am I behind him? But yeah, it was very nice. So basically I had good encounters only like at the end of my Camino. But still, I do not regret it. I'm still very proud of myself because the first part of the Camino is the hardest and I made it. Like I walked 25 fucking kilometer in one day. Have you ever walked 25 kilometer in one day? Because it's hard and I made it. So I'm very proud of myself. I think and I hope that there will be a moment in time in which I will be able to go back and finish what I started. I still have with me like the pilgrim passport and like you can go back and use the same one. So yeah, I hope I will be able to go to Santiago at some point. I don't think I want to arrive to Santiago like just on a plane. Like I don't want to see Santiago, I want to arrive to Santiago. So if I will ever go to Santiago de Compostela, it will be because I arrived there walking. So yeah, I don't know when this will happen because now I have many other plans in the Camino as not in it, but it's still something that I would like to finish at some point. But again, I need to have the right motivation, the right mindset to do it. But it was a very funny attempt. Go do it if you want to try. It's okay, even if you don't make it. It's still an amazing experience and I'm pretty sure I still learned something. Maybe that I don't always have to do things that my 16-year-old self wanted to do because I'm 25 now and I don't owe anything to my past self. So like sometimes your mind can change, you're a different person and you can do things that you want to do, not that your past self want to do. You don't owe anything to your past self. Okay, I guess this is everything for today. Buen camino if you're going and see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. Bye!